All right, what is up, guys? We're connecting right now. I just went over a little bit something. I just went over this in the previous video, so be sure to check that out. Nick or whoever's watching. Nick is me, so I usually just watch these videos. But anyway, I just went over our plan essentially of what to do. I still need to correct the trade or the margin needed. I'm miscalculated. But yeah, I went over this stuff. So this is our future stuff and what we plan to do. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wait for 10 o'clock, and we're gonna begin trading. It looks like there's a lot of volatility, which is a little bit scary, but we'll roll with it. There's a lot of swings here compared to the minute chart. Yeah. We're just gonna go. If we get 2 losses in a row, we're cutting it. That's our new rule. If you get 2 losses in a row, just cut it off. If you get 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, that's okay. But yeah, 2 losses in a row, something's different. So your head's not right, or you know. Okay, we're gonna wait for 10 o'clock to take a trade. I just want to see how this is gonna work out here. All right. So obvious downtrend, huge range here though. Starting early in the morning, no one till 8 o'clock hit. It looks like we just started to trend and we broke out the bottom. Now we're trending down. All right, that's a swing high, first entry, second entry. It looks like there could be FOMO here, so let's see what would happen if we were to sell here. Make sure we're in the correct accounts. All right. I think there is a lot of FOMO because we just keep breaking lower. It's hard to imagine people think that this is gonna correct. I think people are worried about just trying to catch the trend. So I would do a 1 ticker here, shorting. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna wait for 10 o'clock. If 10 o'clock hits here, then maybe we can we'll actually take the trade. Okay, we would have gotten the trade right here. Ooh, looks like it's pushing up. All right, we definitely have to take the next trade now. I don't have to, but wouldn't like to because it's 10 o'clock. It's coming up here, and if it pushes all the way down to what is it, 3 points, and so this is 2 points somewhere here, and then 3 points plus 2 ticks. 1, 2. Ooh, looks like we would have got stopped out. So once again, that price level was only tested once, twice, and since it broke there, it probably wasn't FOMO. I didn't really realize that. If there was a lot more touches and then it broke below there, then I would say, oh, people are worried about the market dropping. But the fact that it was only tested once, twice, means it's just an overall downtrend. And so buying there is actually the best option. Yeah. Okay, but now we have a swing low, first entry, second entry. Overall trend is, I think, is up now because there's a lot of resistance. We tested there. So overall trend is up. So we want to sell here. So let's go for a sell. All right, we're in the trade. And it looks like I messed up. All right, if we get 1 more loss, we're cutting it short. So I forgot. This is not really a range day. So that thing we just did. Oh, it tested once, twice, 3 times. Overall trend is up. Only works on good range days, and this is not a good range day. This is a trending day. So that theory kind of becomes super hesitant. It has to be clear range clear range, or like it's turning into a range before we end up using something like that. So overall, trend is still down. That was just a correction, and buying there is the best option actually. So that one was pretty silly. So at this point, it looks like, I'm debating whether or not. So it's starting to look like a range here. The reason being is because we're so sideways. Here we tested that side and we pushed back to this side. We tested that side, we pushed back to that side. So I'm going to actually say overall trend is down. So swing high first entry, second entry. I think I want to go for is up. A sell here on a 1 ticker. It's a little tricky. Because it never really broke below this level right here, and it's starting to really look like a range. So I'm actually going to go for the sell. Probably a non-obvious would be the better trade, since we haven't really pushed that hard up yet. So that's the non-obvious. Okay, it's coming up. It's coming up. Ooh, just 2 ticks away from my order. Alright, I'll just leave it running. Unless we break below here. Yeah, okay, now we gotta cancel. So 1 ticker would have worked, but we kind of had to do a non-obvious because it just wasn't much of a push in that direction. 1 ticker could have worked. Maybe you could argue that it's already starting to push in that direction. Overall trend is that way. And so, yeah. And the reason wasn't at this point was because it broke lower again, so it looked like the trend was going to keep pushing down. And that's something you have to take in consideration. Usually we wouldn't if it's a range day, but since this is a trending day and we made new lows there, that's looked as a trend down and not a sideways thing. The fact that we pushed up here, bounced off the highs and bounced off the lows, made this confirm that, hey, the overall trend would be in that direction. Yeah. All right, it happened really fast. I got a little worried. Got filled at a weird spot. Not gonna lie. We got filled at a tick off. It happened really fast, so I kind of just placed the order. But this is our signal bar. I'm just making sure I'm not gonna miss another trade. But essentially, you had a swing high here, first entry, second entry. If you take a look at the minute chart, it looks a little bit more obvious. And this is our signal bar, an non-obvious short here because overall trend is up because of all this resistance pushing up, and it is all that resistance pushing up here. So that was, you can see, that was a pretty good sell. And so the market started to push up, filled this here. It's supposed to be filled here, but the market happened so fast I just kind of placed the order. Yeah. But now we got a swing low first entry, so let's see what happens here. If this pushes out, yeah, okay, so overall trend is still up, so we want to sell here still. And, hopefully, I'm just gonna record so we don't like miss anything, really. Yeah, huge push up too. Overall trend is still up because of all this resistance, right? And we say that even if it pushes over a little bit, it still considers overall trend to be in that direction. So yeah. Once this breaks below 100, I'll place the order down. Okay, I think that was a little early, but it's been pushing up pretty high. I'm just worried that if it pushes above here, then it's going to turn to, or I'm worried about this being a spike, but I don't think it's going to be a spike yet until it pushes above these highs. Then that's when we would buy at a 1 ticker. So right now, this is looking like a short still, because overall trend is up, so gonna place the order pretty fast here. Okay. And it hasn't broke above this level yet, this guy. If it does, then I think we can go ahead and buy. But it hasn't broke above this guy yet. Did it? Oh, it did. Let's go for the buy here. So then we will move this guy up right there, because now it's a spike and we want to continue that spike. I think people do have FOMO of it pushing all the way back to the highs, especially since it broke above here. Actually, I don't think there's FOMO involved. I think people are still shorting it, so I think it's overall trend up. I think this is uh, because people have seen this and people notice that it pushes out, pushes right back in. So unless this continues to push up, I don't think there's FOMO quite yet. I think people are still trying to short this thing and really don't have that FOMO. And I don't think there's FOMO quite yet because it's not a huge push compared to everything else. We did break above that resistance, but it's tough to say that people are going to start trying to hop on the bandwagon of going all the way back to these highs. That's why I'm still trying to go for the sell here, and we haven't got filled, which is interesting. But I don't think it's a spike. I'm being quite honest, just because it's a huge range and we kept pushing out of there, essentially. And nice, we read it pretty good. If you see, if we would have bought there, we would have got stepped out really quick. So there was no FOMO there, even though it's a spike that broke about those resistance. That's where you have to really start to read the market, and there's no FOMO there. The reason being there's no FOMO there is because even though we broke above that resistance, there should be FOMO. But the fact that we've been on this strong downtrend, and every time we came to that low, we pushed lower. Came up to the high, we pushed higher, and pushed lower, and then tried to push higher, push lower. So the fact that we pushed higher meant that people didn't have FOMO. People weren't convinced this is just going to skyrocket to the sky. There was nothing indicating that. So yeah, that was a pretty good sell. Definitely would have got stepped off. We bought there. So good trade. Overall trend is up here, but this was a spike though. And I think this is going to be played as a spike. The fact that we didn't push too low yet, and people are now getting worried that the market could push up here. So I think this is considered a spike, and we're going to treat it as such, meaning we're going to buy and continue that spike. Because people like to pick the tops of those spikes, and once they saw that test there, oh, it's a good opportunity to short this and pick the top of that spike, is what people would be thinking essentially. And so, yeah, I think we're going to continue this spike in that direction. We're going to treat this as a spike. Because now there's FOMO in this direction. People are saying that it's having a hard time pushing down. So we're going to treat this as a spike. Let's see. Nice. Let's go. So just like we said, it's a spike now. Even though we didn't treat it as a spike, it became a spike because there became a lot of FOMO in it. Once it pushed down in this direction and then pushed up, people were like, wait, this might actually have the opportunity or the power to keep pushing up. So that's why there starts to become FOMO. The fact that we couldn't even push below, people started getting worried. Hey, wait, it's not pushing down like we all thought it was. So that was a good buy. I just started this right now because since we made a goal and everything, I have to start thinking about taxes and fees. So surely the notes are upside down. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see that actually. Let me open up OBS. So as you can see, there's the losses and wins there, and that's essentially just for us to calculate just how many taxes and fees. I know I could just wait till tomorrow to see what really happened, but it's just something I wanted to keep track of, like better track of my money, I guess. Especially since we have this goal of scuff trading. Let's see. I explained this in the last video of all this, what this means. So that's the exact previous video prior to this video. So as you can see, that was a pretty good buy here. Good job. But February, March, April, May, June, July, and in August we'll be trading the NASDAQ. September, October, November, December, January. This one should be February. Did I spell that right? Why is there an I in there? 6 contracts in January. That'd be nice. And that's supposed to be 2022. It's a long time from now. It's February 22nd. So next month we're going to be trading this. I'm planning to fund the account with a good amount. Probably a little bit. Yeah, probably enough, just enough. I was planning to put 500 in, and that'll be in between this guy and this guy. So hopefully we'll be ahead of schedule, but obviously that's almost impossible to predict. So 10 days of profit. How many weekdays are there actually? So let's see, average weekdays in a month. So there's about 19 to 20. Let's see. The average work days in a month is 21. Let's see. Moves between 19 and 20. So let's say minimum 19. Yeah. And so 10 days a month. I think that's pretty good because you have to account for losses and how much of those losses take up profitable days. So let's say even though you had 3 profitable days but 1 day of loss, that 1 day of loss is not only a day of loss but also cuts out all the profit you made before that. Ooh, ouch. What the heck? That didn't hurt, but that was loud. So then really you only had 2 days of profit and 1 day of break even and 1 day of loss, because or 2 days of break even, I guess you could say, which would be nice to have break even instead of 2 days of losses and wiping up your whole week. So yeah, let's see, 150. How much should we go for here? I don't even know. Plus 7.5. That'll bring us at 19. Yeah, we'll do a couple more. We'll do 2 more profitable trades, maybe even 3 to hit our 30 goal. Even though our goal is only 22. We'll see. We shall see. Alright, but yeah, pretty good trading today so far. Alright, what is up, guys? I'm acting like I was gone for a while, in a couple seconds. That was just a couple seconds for you. Okay, let's see what happens here. Enter the Nanavi. Oh, boy. Looks like today's gonna be a long day, boys. All right, let's start trading. We're at like break even right there, literally. So I thought overall trend was still up here, but as you can see, it's a love you. Okay, so I thought it was an overall trend up, but if once we hit that resistance there, I think this move did become a spike. I was debating on whether it wasn't or not. Actually, it didn't become a spike. It was just a move down. So overall trend becomes down because then you did a double top here, and there was nothing to really indicate the overall trend down, unless you took all this into consideration. So you had a push down, move up, and so it becomes an overall trend down just due to the fact that people think I would say overall trend down because I think the biggest move is what's going to be the overall trend now. I think just based on how sideways everything is going now. Yeah, we got swing wheel, first entry, second entry. I was talking too much. Let's see if we can still take a position. Huge spike up. Overall trend is up. We want to sell here. It didn't become FOMO because we didn't break above these highs yet. I think if we get stopped out here, we're stopping for the day. Yeah, we're stopping for the day. We got filled a tick late, so alright, that'll be it for us. It is a spike up. I just thought there wouldn't be FOMO in it, but that'll be it for today. Could be worse, but that'll be it for today. Peace out.